Hey everybody, it's Austin with No Excuses Move for suicide prevention and building strong communities. So, I haven't been live on Facebook for a minute. Been brainstorming, thinking of some things and stuff, and I've been on like TikTok. So if you want to get on TikTok, and then of course YouTube, it's No Excuses Move on YouTube, and then it's just my name, Austin Allery, on TikTok. So if you guys want to subscribe to those, of course, great, appreciate it, thanks. Of course, comment if any of this stuff that I'm about to go over interests you, and let alone you want to know what's going on with No Excuses Move right now. There's a lot of irons in the fire right now, so it's going to seem like it's always jumping around. But the thing is that I'm working with what I got and what's available right now. And so I like to work on a bunch of little things, but also there's a lot of bigger goals and a lot of bigger things to be coming through No Excuses Move, which it's not an organization, it's not a LLC, it's not a nonprofit, it's just words, and then it's just things that are on my heart to be able to help encourage and strengthen and sharpen others around, especially in the community of Billings, Montana. So wherever you're watching from, this could potentially help wherever you're from. So that's the reason why I get on these lives and I'm saying the things that I say, is because I hope that you get some valuable information from all my videos on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook. I hope this benefits you. And so this is one that I'm working on that is to help directly in Montana, and starting off in Billings, Montana, just because it's most populated. It's where I am right now. I could do this anywhere, but right now I'm doing it where I am. And so just want to kind of go over, it's talking about social media, and let alone creating a place here in Montana that starts off its own production. I don't know about a production company, but basically it makes it so it's accessible for everyone in Montana, let alone starting mainly in Billings and in the college. And so the goal in it is that's like I said, it's not bringing anything here. It's using the tools that are available to create from Montana. And so it's not bringing Hollywood to Montana. It's developing Montana to show out to the world. And so the way in the baseline of it is what my principles are, for me personally, is based off of the Word of God and not the religion that people are fearing. It's the Word of God. So go and read it yourself and meditate in it and show yourselves approved. Let Him show you His Word and let Him write it on your heart. So the basic principles of it is kind of like what a lot of people understand Montana to be, which is character, quality, and hard work. And so all those align with God's Word too. So that's the reason why that's what I'm working on, is getting the basis. That's a foundation on Christ. And with that, people take tools of this world and use it for all sorts of things. So my goal is that people build off the foundation of Christ and build and create strong communities, prevent suicide, and be productive. Do all your works unto the Lord. That means your social media influence, your whatever you record, whatever you're taking pictures of, and then if you're going to post it or something like that, is it fruitful? Is it giving life to not just, well, clearly not to you, but like to others? Is it bringing people up? Is it encouraging people, giving people hope? So that's the point of all of the randomness in all of this, because there's, you can pull anything out of the air and then examples of others and be able to speak life with it. So that's the encouragement of all that's written down here. So I'll kind of just get straight into that and show you guys. So there's film, so No Excuses Move. There's film, production, podcasts, influencers, news, and ads. So each one of those are clearly a part of our daily life here in this world. And so it's like I started off, we'll just go column by column, and then I'll kind of jump around. As you'll see, AI is really in every single one of them nowadays. Before, back in the day, it wasn't as much. Now it is a lot more. So we've all probably seen a TV series or something that came from The Office, or from Friends, The Office, Seinfeld, Live PD, Life Below Deck, reality TV shows, the TV show Alone, Shark Tank for entrepreneurs, business owners, We Bought a Zoo, which is, a true story, or based on a true story. Troy, Gladiator, inspiring things, of course, Avengers and things like that, things that create heroism and, hope and stuff like that, and then just kind of imagination of the possibilities. And all about, well, this one I just found it funny. I think it's a romantic comedy or something. I can't remember what it is, but it's all about Steve. But there were some details in there that's the reason why I wrote down that one. Lilo and Stitch, the childlike nature and, just the animation that was put into that. Lincoln, which is about a lawyer and stuff, because the show, different shows show about legalism or legal things, and clearly that's like not saying how legal the legal system is or anything like that, but it's just showing details of it. Pawn Stars, Storage Wars, Undercover Boss, so etc. And then things about AI. AI clearly is like an Avengers, like that's a whole bunch of AI, a bunch of things that are just put together out of imagination and designers and things like that have put things together. So major one that is being used for all of these, So production, the behind the scenes that happen for all these to take place and get to your house, and into your site. It takes designers, from the beginning. It takes the idea of Behind Friends. Like what's the point of it? What's the meaning? How's it going to come to be? So designers that can design the whole setup, the film, and adjust and make edits. So there's editors that specifically do that. There's makeup that helps people so that they can get clearly on the camera and capture the best version of themselves or of anyone in this, or even animation. The editors can edit that like through AI and stuff. So the behind the scenes about everything that goes into it and the things that that are cut out, that the editors take out of it so that it can be shortened up, because there's, nothing's perfect. And a lot of it, you get to see at the end of the movies is the behind the scene clips, the bloopers and all that stuff, which is, a lot of people's favorite thing, because they get to see the authenticity behind things. And so that's the major focus of No Excuses Move, is authenticity. That there's not too many edits. People just, they improvise. They go with what just made a film like We Bought a Zoo, or let's see, there's numerous other ones that just make it so authentic, where they're like, oh, we didn't mean to put that in there, but it works so perfect with the point in the film that it helps out. And then production, students that are learning, people that are trying to figure out being an extra or just starting out getting into it, learning about it, and then the people that stand in for a lot of the people that, can't do jumping out of a window or, running through a wall or explosions and all sorts of things. The people that are needed to help create the things that we enjoy and capture our attention. And then, of course, behind production and stuff is finding locations, making sure locations are perfect, the financial aspect of it, everything is put into place, people are taken care of, and the shots are being found exactly like that makes the effect, that makes it happen and feel so real, And then there's lawyers, there's legalities of, protecting all of everybody, and then there's, the contracts that people go over. And so it's like, if you agree upon how to do something and how you want it said and told, even in, in the news and ads and stuff like that, if you don't want certain content, and then after it's created, that it doesn't get stolen and used without, giving back to where the credit of the person was. So that's the reason why contracts and lawyers are a huge portion of it. The food, being able to take care of people. And then if it's going to be shown, the advertisement of the food, like if you have a certain brand logo that you're going to put in there, you're going to have to, be a part of the lawyers and the contracts to be able to advertise for some person or whatever's put into any of these. And then the housing, making sure people taken care of, and where, based off location, the housing and the set, And then clearly marketing is like, how do we put this out here so that people understand this is something that they need to see, or to help inspire them, or, you know, get people to come, you know, and take something from it that isn't literally like the video. They don't take the video and say it's their own or create their own version, but they take the inspiration of, like, in my favorite in We Bought a Zoo, is that the main line and quote from it is, "Why not?" So that, you know, that from We Bought a Zoo, that's what it is. From Shark Tank, you know what I mean? It's that a lot of people won't believe in you, and, you know, they'll try and get their best over on you to take as much from you, from your idea. And so you can do it with them or do without them, you know, to make it quicker. But some people, you know, they don't take their offer, and then they are successful, and then they come back and be like, basically, you made a mistake. And then they, you know, go on in other endeavors, or they become a part of the Shark Tanks and invest in those that others didn't believe. Undercover Boss. I love Undercover Boss. You know, these aren't like all the TV shows that I've watched and I love. It's just some of the things that I've picked up that I've seen either others get into, or I've seen maybe an episode or something, and then it's just something that I've heard of quite often. And so, like Undercover Boss, I appreciate that one because it helps owners and bosses see the dysfunction and where it comes from. And so it's things like this that help you as an owner, or you're going to do something, to remember that you serve the people that work for you, and you want to be able to help them be their best self and go above and beyond and have the tools to do the things that they want to do. So that's the reason why I kind of like Undercover Boss. Things like Storage Wars and Pawn Stars, you know, I really enjoy those because the opportunities that are in it, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure, basically, is a huge part of this. And I don't, you know, focus on the drama. It just shows me how people are, how they, you know, do sly things, you know. But the positive of it is that, you know, Storage Wars, people don't manage their things well. They end up losing it, and that's how it ends up being sold. And so if someone else is not going to manage their things, they're going to lose their things. It's up to somebody that buys it to make the most of it and make opportunities with it. So I really appreciate that one. Pawn Stars is overlooking the things that have been made and people devalue them or whatever. And that, you know, the rarities are high priced in these, you know, and how to different evaluate things. So I really appreciate that one. Let's see, alone, you know what I mean? We all wonder what it's like if we were alone and how we would survive and stuff and how long. So that one's cool, and then it's an opportunity to be able to make a good amount of money for that. Reality TV shows, we've seen how fake they are. They're scripted, this and that, and they show, I mean, they kind of show reality. I mean, it's pretty dramatic in reality. Every life is, you know, and so that one just shows you how, you know, people have created a lot of quotes and sayings and images, coffee mugs, a lot of different advertisement and things and influence based off of these reality TV shows, you know. What's the one? I mean, earlier 2000s kind of had a lot of different ones that really influenced people that, you know, I can't remember, Snooki or something like that. I don't know. Jersey Shore, you know what I mean? Like reality TV shows, I guess. There's Bad Girls Club. There's all sorts of different ones. There's so many, but they're just dramatic, you know, and people get caught up into it, and then they, you know, buy merchandise from it. What's that guy with Tiger King? You know, there's a Tiger King one. You know, all sorts of different things that people have been influenced and they've invested in basically with their time, their money to pay for the TV show or pay for their TV subscription to be able to watch that show, you know, and then a lot of them, they buy quotes from them, they buy merchandise and stuff like that, and it just kind of traps people in ridiculous things that people invest in, you know, but it is what it is. So anyways, that's marketing, and the engineers, you know, the people that construct the whole set, that do the lighting, plumbing, heating, the effects, you know, of the behind the scenes, making sure that the right equipment's used and this and that, all that stuff. Writer scripts, you know, like I was saying about the authenticity and the what's that word? Improvising. You know, I'm way more a fan of authenticity and improvising over scripts. But of course, like myself, as you guys have noticed, that I'm not the greatest with words. So sometimes I need scripts, sometimes I need something, just like these quotes, you know what I mean? Some of these quotes from these movies, just like, why not? That's basically like a form of a script that inspires me and reminds me to get back on track, get back onto where I'm going. Is that script that was put out there, I'm able to take the words and see opportunities with it. So that's a part of my script, is why not? And then managers is, making sure that everybody is taken care of and doing their best, and making sure that they're on track and they're on set locations and saying the right lines, and everything goes so that it can end up being a shorter film to like 2 hours or something. But nowadays we'll get further into, like with influencers, with the shortness of managing ourselves to be able to produce things in a lot shorter time. Sorry, I got the hiccups. And AI, helps us manage a lot of that. If you need something that'll help you and get sharpened on managing and stuff, is Snapchat. They got the AI app in there that you can ask it questions, and a lot of times it'll answer pretty helpfully. And then let alone your Facebook, what's on your mind. There's ways to be able to, this says, help me write. You can type professional, help you write. And then there's different images that it'll help use from AI. There's all sorts of things that you can use from AI. And there's a lot of them that are free, so you're not having to pay for ChatGPT and things that you can't afford right now. CapCut's helpful, but there's a lot of AI things like on Facebook and things like that that'll be able to help you. So just let you know about that. And like I said, it's going to AI. The goal is that we use it as a tool, but not idolize it. That's the biggest thing in all of this, is that it's making its headway, and it can overpower anyone, and anything. It's a very scary concept, but that's for another talk. This is about seeing the opportunities in all these and taking control and directing these, AI, using AI and directing it to where, you are the one that's creating and not it. So we go over podcasts because, a lot of this, people talk about during podcasts, and it's a form of influence, news, ads, all of them kind of really combine so much in with each other. Joe Rogan probably gets on there and does the podcast, but then he sends off the information, and a lot of other influencers and stuff like that don't spend all their time editing all the content from their podcasts. They're focused on getting whatever they're creating out there, and somebody else that, has some form of the vision that edits it. Designers, just like with the film, the director doesn't do exactly every single aspect of this. They give it to the people. They manage, send it out the information to managers that help manage the editing and designing to capture the target of what the purpose is. And so Joe Rogan, he says exactly what he's doing, and he's just he's authentic with it. He says whatever's on his mind, and, and people clearly, as very much appreciate it. Him just being himself. Some people don't like him. It doesn't matter. He's doing it. Nobody else is. And it doesn't matter if he's right or wrong. He's working on it, and he's, taking consideration of others. It's like, hey, you got an opinion? All right. And then, he tests them on it because he doesn't want to fall short. So the great thing is there's a lot of podcasters going on, especially here in Montana and all that are creating podcasts. And so with what I'm planning on doing with the film and bringing production here, at least especially the main focus and really the underlining is the equipment, so that others may be able to do these things in perfection. And so there's podcasts with Joe Rogan, I didn't know a lot of other influencers and stuff, but crypto's one, since that's been a major talked about thing. There's a lot of crypto podcasters that discuss it, people that discuss marketing and all sorts of different podcasts, genres, and so my focus is on doing it local from Montana. You're starting here in Billings, Montana. You got the Hodge twins. Some people know them, that go over podcasting and stuff. That's just an extra one I just threw out there. Like I said, there's a lot of randomness. There's nothing set in stone, like this is the category. No, I just wanted to put it out there to show you all different genres of that there's so many possibilities and there's so many things. Like I said, most each one of these I put extra or etc. That should have been etc. Like more. There's way more than I've written. And then cameras, the cameras that these people are using that create it such high quality looking, that's a huge part of it. The behind the scenes in these things, that what all goes in together to create it into a segment that sometimes they're long, sometimes they're short, and then let alone adding the clips so that it ends up being ads and news that captures you. So cutting it down so they need editors to get a point across that comes across your scrolling to be able to get to you. And some people will go over cameras and be able to be like, yeah, this is the camera we're using for our podcast. If you're interested, this is the place to get it, And so with the underlining of what I'm doing through all of this is once I get the camera equipment, that's something that's going to be encouraged, that people say where they got the camera and that it's accessible for community to come by. We'll work on if there's going to be a renting thing. But the main thing is so like others that come here, Joe Rogan and a bunch of other influencers and stuff, when they come here, they're able to use the equipment and they're able to comparable price it with if somebody buys it on Amazon or into a different place where they have to get it shipped. I want people to be what is it called? Comparable to online shopping. This is something that I don't want, I encourage whoever ends up running this, the sales of the product of cameras and recording equipment, that they don't up price it, that they put it at a price where they're clearly able to cover the building price and all that stuff and make some money, but able to do it at a price that's beats online shopping so that it keeps it local and helps the community. And then, like I said, people that are coming from outside of Montana and they're able to pick up the equipment there, that they're like, wow, I would rather shop with you than buy it online because you're a real person and you support local communities and you're building this local community through this. So that's the reason why whoever I end up finding out that is really great with telling people the details that will help out per category camera, bigger cameras, that they get the one that fulfills 95% of anything that you would ever want to do. And so that there's not too many options. There's a focus of these are the best ones, so it limits it so that you get the best of any range that you want to do. And most of them, you could just get a basic camera and you could record, make movies. You could do a lot of things just with a basic camera. But for producers and filmmakers and stuff, want to be able to make it accessible to be able to get their hot, really, hundreds of $1,000s equipment camera, so that if, even maybe if a local person is able to afford it and is making a movie, they can buy that. But the main thing is so people that come from outside of Montana are able to get the things that they work with anyways, and that it's accessible here, and builds it so that people are building in Montana and they're not shopping online and helping corporations grow. So that's part of the cameras and equipment that, go behind the scenes with any person, not just podcasters, influencers, every single part of this and so much more, which a lot of us all deal with ads that, we're trying to get our business, our product or our services out there. And so being accessible to be able to do your own thing is what this is all about. That's what No Excuses is about, is that people are doing their best and showing their best foot forward with these things that are working on getting here. And so anyways, influencers, the point of really all this is because I'm trying to get it in the hands of Montanans so that we build strong communities. That, it's 2025 and there's so many possibilities and there's so many ways to be able to create so much more with such little, and the thing is making quality over quantity. You post one video with a good quality, and I hate, no, I don't even want to say it, but, you know, there's a few people that we've all, or most of us have seen that have said something stupid on an influencer's page, and it blew up, and now they're overnight millionaires. And so somebody with that is, he's doing, you know, some things that should be inspiring you, is that Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, is 26 years old. He started out making about 1,000 videos or something. No followers, nothing really. And now he's 26 years old, and he has 300 or something, and at least 30,000 or 330 million followers on YouTube. And now he makes a boatload of money. And now he's made it where he's made his own production company and established it, and works with other places like Netflix and things like that. And has created his own thing. Like, he's created everything out of just doing it himself, you know, like, and the team that he's built with it. And now he's very successful. And that's what I'm encouraging others, is that you have the possibility to be able to create so much more and create passive income through this. Just depends on the quality and the work, the hard work you put in, and your character on where you're going to go. He sells houses, gives money away, and things like that. I don't know nothing about him. Not going to talk too much about him, just saying all the things that he's done. You know, it's awesome what he's done, but I don't know nothing about him to go too much further into it. I'd love to sit down with him and talk about some things, you know, but I don't idolize the guy. Just give him a lot of respect for creating something. Just like whoever created this library, you know, I give them a lot of respect because they created something that's so inspiring and helps people like me to be able to come and help others see possibilities and potential, you know. So that's what I'm meaning by, you know, putting them up here. There's dance trends, you know, I don't even know names of them and stuff, but they've created an influence in a lot of youth and a lot of adults that we all know that have created, you know, we watch kids, you know, the dab and all that stuff. Came with an influencer that did the dab trends or other dance trends. You know, celebrities, clearly. Diddy and all them that have influenced, you know, the Will Smith slap, the Joe Rogan, you know, Donald Trump, what's the other guy? Biden, Putin, Kim Jong-un, the Kardashians, you know, the Tiger King guy. All these celebrities and stuff have played such an influence in so many people's lives. It's not in a complete day-to-day conversation, but it is on social media, you know, and it really affects a lot of people. And so this is the reason why it's like I'm wanting people to create a better, clearer influence that's based off of quality, hard work, and character. And for me, you know, I always encourage that it's based off the Word of God, that people are influencing with people giving life, love, peace, joy, you know, through their works. If you own a boot shop, or if you own an art gallery, if you own a mechanic shop, or if you own any form of business, you know what I mean, that you are showing those kind of characteristics, because they're universal and they build strong communities and prevent suicide. So with your influence, and hopefully as the cameras and equipment come in, that you work your influence to not abuse it and create bad trends and gossip and slander and destruction, that you use it to create amazing things, you know, and fruitful things that help the community and prevent suicide and build strong communities. So that's what this is all about, is that working to get it so that you are the director and actually making impacts on the communities, instead of waiting on people to get locked up or put in an institution, or you know, just a lot of destructive talk that people aren't taking control of what the possibilities that they can do. So that's the point of it, is that your influence is needed, so make it constructive and build strong communities. And so influencers, you know, goes, you know, there's world leaders, there's religious, there's producers, you know, the Nickelodeon people that you hear, world leaders, you know what I mean? They hear about the JFK files and all sorts of different things that were happening corruptly. They're influencing the world to cause division. But the thing is you take the information and you realize, well, that was then, and the only difference in anything that's going to change is now. So that's the reason why I'm encouraging others that if you're your influence can help create peace and construction in society. The art industry, you know what I mean, that clearly influences us, just like Van Gogh died broke, thought he was an artistic failure. Now his stuff, if you walk into an art gallery or an art museum, you try to throw down $1 million and they'll laugh you out of there because it's worth way hundreds of millions, you know. So the industry of art influences us, just like, you know, how this library is designed, is that there's a lot of art put into it, art and architecture, you know, of how it's built and designed, that this room is in art form by the way that they put the glass windows, that they put it so you can see out. Now, there's so many ways that art is influenced, and the industry does, you know, just like clothing designs. Different cultures have different designs of how they dress. So like in France and China and things like that, Japan, they have a completely different style than we have, you know, so it's all based off of the way that they've been artists in their industry. So that always, you know, we've clearly changed a lot from back in 1920, from the 1800s, 1700s and stuff. We've changed a lot. So the art industry influences a lot of us, or all of us, in some form or way. Crypto influences us because, you know, it's investments in different stock markets and things like that. The housing market, all that stuff have to do with some form of this. Not exactly crypto, but the effect of the market influences us. Corporations, you know, BlackRock and so many more that influence our eating habits, our situations, and our, you know, as far as we know, the economy and government and all that stuff. So corporations really take an influence, clearly pharmaceuticals and all that stuff. Conspiracy stuff. And then, so this one, I can't remember his name, but the guy who said nothing, the guy that just kind of threw his hands up and was like, you know, and just kept, like someone was cutting a banana open a weird way and he just peeled a banana and then put the banana down and just went, you know, just so you guys get the effect and see it, where the person just went, you know, now that person's making $14 million annually and he did nothing. His just influence of making fun of others for opening and doing things ridiculously, he's now making $14 million a year. And then, you know, it's worked with ads and news about him and podcasts. And then clearly right now that people are like, what the heck are you talking about? He's now making that just based off of his influence. Groups and organizations, you know, I mean, it goes as far back, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, what's his name? It's Black Lives Matter. You know, that's another one, Black Lives Matter. LGBTQ, all sorts of different things that have influenced people and, you know, just have influenced people, you know. So there's all sorts of influencers. There's health influencers, the people saying, oh, this isn't healthy for you now, this is healthy for you now. The shot with for COVID, you know, that was an influence that had to do with health and this and that. Fitness workers, it's a big one, you know. Fitness, you see the bad things that happen in fitness. People can't go into the gym without complaining about recorders and this and all sorts of things. And people turn the influence of fitness into something else. You get all sorts of workers that are making fun of working, their bosses, and all sorts of things. That, like I said, etc. AI, there's influence of how AI can change a lot of different things, because it's pretty limitless, you know, of the ideas that it can do. So now we'll get to the major one that is the whole huge basis of this, with the news and the influencers, and how films have really changed the news. You know, like, here's a simple one. I mean, what's their names? Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. What is his name? Gosh darn it. their court case, you know, him and his wife or whatever, their news, or even O.J. Simpson, you know what I mean? All celebrities that, you know, they've been a part of something along these lines that have taken over the news, or the news media speaks over it, local or major and local. They speak on things about celebrities and all that stuff, and it'll take over the whole news station and influence people, and based off of, you know, recordings and social media. You know, takes a huge part of these things. And the writers in it that are a part of it, if they put a certain title at the top, it influences people. And like I said, influencers like major football players, Taylor Swift, you know, all sorts of different things, comedians, local celebrities, you know, all sorts of influencers that, you know, take the news and they put their thought into it and opinions and influence people. And it gets thousands, millions of views, and it pays them money. Social media, all around, you know how every single person and their grandma posts something and people get influenced by it. You know, they start creating trends based off of some goofy thing somebody said. They get the social media influencers up to where they end up thinking, oh, it's great to get on a stage and be a comedian. They get on the stage to be a comedian, and then it goes out to the public and influences people. Like, they'll talk on subjects about groups or ways people should do things and this and that, and then boom, it influences people. AI with the news is huge, is where disasters happen. People adjust it with AI and make it look way worse or in a different form or whatever, that influence people. Like when the LA fires were going on, there was an AI edited thing where it showed that the Hollywood sign was burning down, and it looked pretty darn good. I wasn't fully sure if it, you know, I've gotten to the point where it's like, if I'm not there, I don't believe it, you know. But of course, it just shows me all this is learning information for what the possibilities are that these things affect us, right or wrong. And so the goal in all of this is that we change it to be of good fruits and value and hard work, quality and character. You know, that we change the narrative of how these things influence us, or if, you know, the things that are established that people have done, we take and we be able to construct towards better things. And yeah, so that's how AI really affects it. And it's going to get only worse, where you're not going to be able to tell the difference between real and not real. We've all seen how fast, I mean, if you've watched like the beginning of the movies, you know, how a production company comes across Universal, you know, with the planet. You know, it used to be black and white and just like a ball of fuzz that was really dark and hard to see, black and white. And now you can see galaxies, shooting stars, city lights and stuff through the world that pops up on Universal. And so that's how much AI has changed, and it's just crazy. It's exciting because it's really cool, but, you know, it just shows you how advanced it can get. And then ads is everything. You know, everything is some form of sales of ads. You know, someone's always trying to say something. It's just like this right here. I'm advertising that I'm working on getting cameras and equipment and production happening in Montana. You know, this is how I'm using my influence to be able to, like, hey, I've seen something that'll really help out the community if we get a right foundation under it, and not just turn it into Hollywood, where there's all sorts of gossip, slander, and bad things happening, that people take control of it and use it. Ads is in everything, you know. People go around and create ads through themselves for MLMs, sales, you know, everything is just in AI. Everything's trying to sell you. Like, AI, in the way that it's used in all of these, influences us towards buying ads of, you know, ChatGPT or CapCut, you know, all these things that AI is used for, that is an ad that shows you that if you buy it, you know, you can access more, you know. Sales, you know, there's price that goes into ads, and people are always trying to sell that they have the best ad, or they'll be able to help you out, all sorts of people saying, oh, we'll get you a bunch of leads and things like that. All these annoying things that aren't authentic, and they're not putting that quality in and explaining anything with character, hard work, and quality. It's just like, hey, we're just going to slap this together. It's goofy, it's funny, whatever, and gets it out to you and distracts you. And when people get there, they don't see the real thing that is actually being advertised. So if this is used right, the camera equipment and the production that's going to start, that I'm working to get people working for, or working towards, being encouraging and using the tools for, these things will change to where we are the ones that are advertising good, fruitful things, community building, strengthening, and influencing towards a better future for, let alone starting in Billings, Montana, and branching out, that this is what life is supposed to be like. It's supposed to be us helping each other, encouraging each other, being fruitful, using organic things, and being authentic. I'm a person where it's like, I don't like food coming off. I got into this thing called Tower Gardens and stuff. I appreciate the concept, but I would rather get my food from the ground, from God's earth, and from good soil. And where the bees are coming, they're pollinating my fruit and my vegetables, and that's where it's coming from. So, because I know that that's how it's always been. That's how the natural order is it's authentic and it's real. Produced the way it was designed to be produced from. That's what, the encouragement of all this is about, is that we get back to authentic, hard work. Work smarter, not harder. Hard work is still managing it well so that it does become simple and flows easier. And character. That people's character is that there's so many possibilities, as you guys have seen, to use these and go down the Hollywood's route. So simple. But my goal is to encourage others and bring people together that are wanting to do it, to build communities and strengthen quality in it. That people are doing things themselves and they're perfecting it. And showing, like I said, the fruitful things. Things that give life through people visioning it. Just like I said, through the We Bought a Zoo. That fruitful message through there of why not. And clearly that why not is towards something good. Just like no excuses, move, is that I do it with the fullness of my heart. And that it's selfless. It's giving out of the love and the fullness. And not to expect what's going to come back to me, but to do it because it is good. And so that's what I'm working on, and encouraging in this community, that we help each other make this possible and get people excited about this coming to Billings, Montana, and being established, or not coming to Billings, Montana, but coming out of Billings, Montana, to be able to help strengthen and get people connected again in a fun way, just like Friends, The Office, you know what I mean? People are being authentic and they're coming together and they're having fun with all the possibilities that AI and media and influencing and all that stuff does, but using it constructively. So if you guys are excited about this and want to learn more, I'm working on setting up an event soon here. It might be at the library here, or if I can find a better place. But I've been speaking with, the college, some people at the college, and some other people that have actually been in the industry, but they want to kind of do their own thing and teach others how to do their own thing. So if you are interested, like and comment and keep following along. Of course, like I said, subscribe to YouTube. No Excuses Move. Watch the Moment of Impact on there so you'll see my first event and then see a little bit of what I'm working on doing to create more events and more impact so people do things themselves and encourage others. So that's on YouTube, and then I have my TikTok channel, of course Facebook here. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and you guys have a blessed day. God bless you. No excuses. Move in Him and for Him. Thank you so much. Have a great day.